I suppose the big story, in the sense that you could argue it was the biggest surprise, was Spurs beating West Ham and doing it so convincingly. Even though it says 3-2 on the scoreline, this was one-way traffic throughout. And obviously, the big reason that's a talking point is their first away win since January 2019 in the league. And it's that new manager. What's his name?
Jose.
Jose.
Yes, I've heard a lot about him. We've talked enough about Jose Mourinho this week, and it is not a surprise. You just mentioned that it was a surprise result. I don't think it's a surprise in the sense that you knew there was going to be some sort of reaction.
Yeah, a bounce, new manager.
You knew that once he walked into that locker room, people sitting in that locker room would be like, oh, wait a minute, that's Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
And it's one thing when he's managed other teams, when he's been in press conferences. It's a totally different experience when he shows up in the locker room. And now he's addressing you, and you're like, hey, this is different. This is new. And we better play. So there was an urgency and there was an intensity about Spurs that you hadn't seen this year.
No,
on
the
their
opening 20 minutes was
yes.
just, they're just complete different team.
Well, and you could sense it and you could feel it, and there was excitement, and the players were tackling and winning balls and winning 50-50 chances, and then whenever there was an opportunity to go forward, all of a sudden Dele Alli is going left and right and popping into spaces and dropping the ball off. Heung-min Son with a step over and a goal, and Harry Kane with a goal as well. There was a lot of things to be optimistic if you're a Spurs fan, and the one thing that I would say is this was expected. This moment, this game, against whoever they play this game, it was going to be an opportunity for those players to showcase all that energy, all that intensity, all that momentum because of the conversation that has been going on about Jose Mourinho. Is this something that you can sustain? Is it consistent?
Because West Ham are terrible.
Well, correct. And so we can turn it around and say, well, West Ham hasn't won in 8. And let me just tell you that it's a team that right now is struggling with whatever is it that they are trying to be on the field. No identity whatsoever. And a manager on the other side who's barely hanging on. So it was a perfect storm in so many ways for Spurs, and West Ham in the end, there was no chance for them. In those first 20 minutes, Spurs were excellent. In fact, for the first 60 minutes, they were excellent. But I do think that the way that they closed the game out is something that Jose Mourinho can grab onto and say, all right, we were great. This is awesome. Heung-min Son, you were fantastic. Dele Alli, you're fantastic. Harry Kane, great. But we can work, and we can get better. So you get both things. You get the result, you get the excitement, you get the fans excited about Mourinho, and then you also give Mourinho reason to be able to come again into the locker room, onto the training field, and say, we got things to work on.
There's a quote, obviously, it's doing the round. Jose Mourinho was asked what he said to Dele Alli in training, and he said, basically, are you Dele Alli's brother? And he was like, well, no, I'm Dele. And he was like, well, play like him.
Right.
Just take me into the psychological warfare, if you like, of what a manager's trying to do there and why it works, because it seems so simple.
Right. And I think it has to do with who is delivering the message and the manner in which he is delivering the message. Because Mauricio Pochettino may have said the same thing to Dele Alli, but they've gotten to a point to where there was a disconnect, where Dele Alli would have been, in some ways, a little bit arrogant about it, a little bit defensive about it, and not taking the information. Whereas now, Mourinho, with a new voice, a new approach, comes in, says the same thing, he's taking a shot at Dele Alli.
Yes.
But it's one where Dele Alli is saying, you know what? He's right.
Yeah.
And in order for me to be out on the field, for this guy, I need to play at that level.
That's the psychology.
And so, for me, in order to find consistent minutes and be the player that everybody thinks I can be, I have to showcase it. Because this guy is not going to come in his slack. This guy is not gonna play me on past results or past experiences, because there are no past experiences.
Right.
This guy is gonna play me based upon what he sees, and I better deliver now.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.